As the road to the 2026 FIFA World Cup begins in earnest, Scotland's preparations got off to a frustrating and ultimately sobering start with a narrow 1-0 defeat to Japan at Hampden Park. In a match that promised experimentation, energy, and optimism, it instead revealed lingering concerns about attacking sharpness, creativity, and cohesion. A late goal from Japan's Junior Ito proved decisive, settling a contest that Scotland struggled to impose themselves on for long periods. While the result itself may not define their World Cup campaign, the performance raised questions that manager Steve Clarke will need to address quickly. The match began with a sense of anticipation. Scotland, buoyed by their recent qualification for their first World Cup in nearly 3 decades, were eager to build momentum. Playing at Hampden, there was an expectation that the home side would set the tone early. They nearly did. Scott McTominay had Scotland's best chance in the opening exchanges, finding space and testing Japan's goalkeeper Zion Suzuki. However, the opportunity was squandered, emblematic of a recurring theme throughout the evening, promising moments that failed to translate into genuine danger. Despite that early opening, Scotland struggled to sustain pressure. Their attacking moves often broke down in the final third, with passes lacking precision and runs failing to connect. As the first half progressed, Japan began to assert control. Their style, fluid, technically precise, and composed, contrasted sharply with Scotland's more direct and often disjointed approach. Japan's midfield dictated the tempo, moving the ball efficiently and exploiting spaces between Scotland's lines. While they didn't create a barrage of clear-cut chances before half-time, their superiority in possession and movement was evident. The first half ended goalless, but the balance of play hinted at what was to come. Japan's ability to stretch the game and maintain composure under pressure highlighted why they are considered one of the most tactically refined teams outside Europe's traditional elite. If there was one defining issue for Scotland, it was their lack of attacking threat. Opportunities were few and far between. Lyndon Dykes, leading the line, found himself isolated for much of the game, receiving limited service. Creative players such as John McGinn were unable to influence proceedings significantly, while Andy Robertson's forward runs rarely resulted in meaningful chances. Even when Scotland managed to advance into promising areas, their decision-making let them down. Crosses were overhit, through balls were mistimed, and shots lacked conviction. This inability to convert possession into chances will be a major concern heading into the World Cup, where opportunities are often scarce and must be taken. The second half followed a similar pattern, with Japan controlling possession and Scotland struggling to break through. Manager Steve Clarke made changes, introducing fresh legs and experimenting with personnel. Young players were given opportunities, including debutant Findlay Curtis, as Scotland sought to build depth ahead of the tournament. Japan, however, continued to look the more dangerous side. Their breakthrough came in the 84th minute. A well-worked move carved open the Scottish defence, with Junior Ito finishing clinically to give Japan a deserved lead. It was a goal that reflected the difference between the two teams: precision, composure, and execution at a crucial moment. Conceding late forced Scotland into a brief spell of urgency, but it proved insufficient. There was no dramatic late equaliser, no sustained pressure that might have unsettled Japan. Instead, the match drifted to its conclusion, leaving Scotland with more questions than answers. The final whistle confirmed a 1-0 defeat, a result that felt fair given the balance of play. For Steve Clarke, this match was never just about the result. Friendlies serve as testing grounds, opportunities to experiment, and chances to assess players in different systems. There were some positives. Defensively, Scotland remained relatively organised for much of the game, limiting Japan to few clear chances until the decisive moment. Players such as Angus Gunn provided stability at the back, while others showed glimpses of potential. However, the negatives were more pronounced. Scotland's lack of attacking cohesion stood out most. Against a well-drilled opponent, they struggled to create space, link play effectively, or produce moments of individual brilliance. Clarke himself acknowledged the need for improvement, hinting at changes for the next friendly as he continues to evaluate his squad. While Scotland will reflect on missed opportunities, Japan will take significant encouragement from this performance. Their display was controlled, intelligent, and ultimately decisive. Players like Zion Suzuki impressed with their composure, while substitutes such as Keiro Mitoma added energy and creativity in the second half. Japan's ability to maintain structure while adapting their approach highlights their growing strength on the international stage. Already qualified for the World Cup and consistently competitive, they appear well prepared for the challenges ahead. This victory at Hampden will only reinforce their confidence. It is important to keep perspective. This was a friendly, not a competitive fixture. Scotland's primary objective is to peak at the World Cup, not in March. Experimentation, rotation, and tactical adjustments are all part of the process. However, performances like this do carry weight. Momentum matters in international football, and Scotland will want to avoid entering the tournament on the back of underwhelming displays. With another friendly against Ivory Coast on the horizon, there is an immediate opportunity to respond. For players on the fringes of the squad, these matches are crucial auditions. For established stars, they are chances to refine partnerships and build rhythm. If there is a silver lining, it may be that this defeat comes early in Scotland's preparation cycle. Rather than exposing weaknesses during the World Cup itself, this match provides a timely reminder of the standards required at the highest level. Japan offered a glimpse of the type of opposition Scotland will face, teams that are disciplined, technically proficient, and ruthless when chances arise. Addressing these shortcomings now could prove invaluable. Scotland's 1-0 defeat to Japan was not catastrophic, but it was instructive. It highlighted the gap between potential and performance, between moments of promise and sustained quality. It underscored the importance of clinical finishing, creative play, and tactical cohesion. For Japan, it was a deserved victory and a sign of their continued progress on the international stage. For Scotland, it was a reminder that qualification is only the beginning. The real challenge lies ahead, and based on this performance, there is work to be done.